What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. So if you didn't see the last video I uploaded, I ended up having to tow the Mustang home with the Bronco on the tow dollies. So what had happened is fuel pump ain't cutting on anymore. And I've done a little bit of testing so far, and we're getting 12 volts at the pump. And I actually tried to jump the pump off with a battery, and we got nothing. So I'm assuming something shorted out or something. So today we're going to be dropping the tank and taking a look. And if you look at this, wide tire probs. That's only a 275 too. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this side of the fuel filter going, from the tank. Just gonna start by taking these little safety clips off. Now you will need a Ford fuel line tool for this. You just get these plastic tools at any auto parts store. Gotta get those crisp fix angles for you. It's coming. All right, right up here at the front we have this evap line. Now it should come off just by squeezing right here. There's also one on the top. It should come off, but no such luck. Gonna have to pry the sides with a screwdriver. All right, now we're back here at the driver's side rear corner of the tank. We have this line right here and one right behind it. And this one, I believe these are made different on some of these cars, but there's a little plastic ear right here. Just kind of pry it. And then same on the other side, exactly like it. Pry it out to the side, kind of push up, and then this little clip. Alright, here's now where you can make a decision. I'm opting to drop the whole tank so I can thoroughly inspect the inside of it, make sure there's no particulate, dirt, or rust. Or you can do kind of what Chris Fix did, and he left all of this over here. He left the fuel filler and all of this connected, and he just dropped the tank down, lowering the driver's side to the ground while leaving the passenger side sort of up and sort of hanging by the fuel filler. If you're going to go this route, there are two lines to disconnect and also the filler neck. I'm going to start right here. Just pry it off this little clip. Alright. And now this is the line we just disconnected. Now this line right here, just gonna pull it out. Easy peasy. And now for the fuel filler neck, there's this little bracket right here that's held on by this 8mm right here. We just take that 8mm out, and then the filler neck will have to pull out of the tank. There's a giant grommet on the tank, and it'll just have to pull out. We'll probably spray that down with a little bit of WD-40 or something just to help ease it out. But like I said, if you don't want to take all this loose and you can just do it from an angle, if you're just going to replace the pump, that's fine. Phew! That is a pain. Alright, this is what we got over here. Tank is almost down on the ground over here. Phew! There we go. I think it's nasty. We'll slide this thing out and then we go clean it up a little bit and then pull this pump out. Okay, so I've plugged off all of the evap lines with some paper towels and rags just to keep dirt and ingress from getting there. I'm going to try to get all of this dirt and crap off of here. January 23rd, 2003. Guessing that's how long the pump has been in here. Since 2003. And this is in 2000. So I would say the pump's probably been replaced within 50,000 miles. And this one seems to have lasted over 200,000. And I'm just speculating, but it's currently got about 275,000. So. So here we got a connector for some sensor, evap sensor of some sort. Okay, just unplugged the sensor. It was being a pain, it was caked in dirt. Next up, I'm gonna unplug this fuel line. Okay, after some struggling and a few kind words, I finally got that line off. I just got 6 8mm to take off. Now down in here, there's this little clip. There should be one on the other side too. And the assembly should pull straight up. There we go. Ooh, Lord, look at what color this is. That is definitely a 200,000 mile fuel pump. Goodness, that was white. Normally they're like an off white dingy color, but not brown. Goodness. Fuel float. I don't see any rust, a little bit of dirt in the bottom. I do see right there a glob of water. But other than that, this tank is in pretty good condition. A little bit of dirt over there. Probably clean it out. Okay, so I just wanted to test the fuel pump right quick, and I've got it hooked directly up to my battery box and let's see if it'll do anything. Nothing. Nope, nada. Alright guys, so we finally got our fuel pump in the mail, and I decided to go with this Chemso brand fuel pump. I got this off of eBay for $30, and it comes with a bunch of strainers and hoses and things you'll need for different applications, but this fuel pump claims to have 30% more flow than a standard fuel pump. Now in these Mustangs, they came with at least the V6s, they came with a 110 liter per hour fuel pump. This claims to have 130 to 170. Anyways, I figured that might be a little bit of a good upgrade. Let's take a look at it. So that's a pretty nice looking fuel pump. Got their nice branding on it. It's sort of a grayish black. Let's get it out of this. There's a new seal, which I don't believe will work on my application, but it comes with so many different fuel socks. Now you can see here all the different fuel filters, fuel socks it came with. I believe this is the one that we're going to be using. Also, the kit came with new hoses. A couple miscellaneous things like hose clamps, the crimp connectors, a little piece of black hose, and the wiring pigtail. Now this was a cheaper option than just buying a whole fuel pump assembly, which would have come with new hoses, new fuel sock, new pump and all that, but I decided to go a little bit more cheaper. Also, this claims to be an upgrade, and also it was only 30 bucks, and it came with. Alright, so I've got my fuel pump assembly here, and the first thing I'm going to do is take the old sock off. As you can see right here, there's a little clip that you have to pinch, and it'll come off. Oops. And be mindful of these little rubber feet. They want to come out. Alright, I've already unplugged the pump itself, so I'm going to go ahead and remove these two to remove the line. These are not very tight. Now, just pull up. There it comes. There's your pump. Now, oops. Disconnect that. And it's starting to come free. I believe I'm going to take this fuel level sensor off. There's another 5mm right here. And it holds down the ground for the fuel level sensor. Once you remove that, you should just be able to pull up. There's this little tab that goes in right there, and then all that is free from the lower part of the assembly. And we're just going to set that aside. Now, 3 more screws. Now it just comes off. I don't know how well you can see that. Look at that fine, grainy, almost like coffee grinds. Yep, that needs to be cleaned out. Alright, so I'm going to go get this cleaned up. Also, wipe this top down because you see all this. And I'll be back. Alright, so I got it all cleaned out. Nice and clean. And also be mindful of this little silicone check valve thing that's in the bottom. It likes to flop around. So we're going to start with this rubber. Goes on top. good. And now this one looks a little bit, well, obviously it's a lot bigger, but I'd say that's a good thing for better isolation. Okay, so my first complaint with this fuel pump kit is this bottom rubber isolator would not fit. And if you can see down in here, I had to clearance it a little bit right there and also right there, and had to cut it out right here across the top so the sock will fit. But fits on there now, goes all the way down. Now install the sock. Just press it down. Okay, that's all the way on there. And put this little retaining clip on there. There, that worked. Just push it on with a socket. Just set it down in here, like so. Okay, there we go. Now, the top. Now we'll just put our screws in. Now I'm just putting these a little snug, just sort of hand tight, only using the extension, and that should be more than plenty. All right, now we got our new fuel sock, fuel strainer. Now this just goes on here, the little tab that it lines up with. You know, just push it on. Yeah, it looks a little bit longer, but I think we'll be fine. Yeah, these are sort of barbed. Now this is probably completely unnecessary, but I figured might as well go ahead and replace them. Now it looks pretty good. And this will slide on here. What I think I'm going to do is take a heat gun or a hair dryer to this so it'll push on easy. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the rest of them. Alright, so we got this new hose on, and that thing goes on there tight. It takes quite a bit of effort to get this new hose over the barbs, even with heating that up where it's almost hot enough to burn you. But be careful, because you can burn this plastic hose. Ooh, there it goes. Alright, got that off. Alrighty, so now put our hose clamp on there and Let's see if this slides up on here easily. Relatively easy. I'm going to heat it up a little bit. We're just gonna put this down here. Kind of slide that clip in right there, if you can see. That little clip slides in right there. Also, we got our wire that goes down to it. For our ground. Now looking at it, the connectors seem pretty much exactly the same. Yep. Now once we get this put in there, I'm going to put a couple zip ties on here, just so we can see how it goes when we start to put everything back in the tank. But that's our fuel pump installed into the assembly. New lines, or new hoses, whatever you want to call them. Alright. And also be mindful of these 3 rubber feet that go on the bottom of the assembly. Fuel float will go in here between where this is open on this little, I don't know what you call that, the assembly holder, and then right here there's this little part like that. That's where the fuel sock will go up under. So let's feed it in there. Yeah, because this new line is slightly bigger, it's kind of catching right there. So. And I forgot to mention, this fuel tank is completely empty. I cleaned it out, took all the old gas out, made sure there was no kind of particulate or contaminants in the bottom of the tank. Now, I got me a little zip tie. I'm going to try and zip tie these wires to the underside of this hose. Now just kind of check as you close it. Nothing is binding. Everything looks fine. And we'll just go ahead and close it up. And this points to the front of the tank. This plugs into here. Okay, so we're back and it's a little bit darker. Turns out my grommet for the fuel filler neck is ripped. So luckily there was one kind of nearby, about 20 miles away. Good. There we go. We got this fuel line connected. And now this. Okay, you guys stay back here. I'm gonna go cycle the key. If you hear the fuel pump cut on, just holler, all right? Yeah, I watched back the footage and I could hear the fuel pump just fine. Alright, I'm gonna go prime the pump a couple times, crawl up under there and check for leaks, and then kick her over and see if we got life. Which I don't see why we shouldn't, but you know. Alright, battery was dead, so let's try it again. So I will call that another successful fuel pump install. I don't know what's been going on here lately, but that's the third fuel pump I've done in the past 3 months, I'd say. I did one on the Bronco, one on my cousin's Jeep, and now one on my Mustang. Starting to look like fuel pump issues is contagious. So guess we need to start putting masks on our cars on the fuel filler. Right there. But no, so I guess that's it. I'm going to wrap up the video here, and I think I'm going to close this video out with a cold start. So I hope some of y'all found this video entertaining or helpful. Like and subscribe if you want. Thanks for watching.